Everybody that's a fan of amusement parks has that one amusement park that initially got them into that fandom. For most people, it's probably something like Disney, like Jen, for example. For me, it's Hersheypark. And we're back here today to take you on a tour of the park, show you what they have to offer, and show you what's brand new for 2022. The first area of the park that you enter once you enter Hersheypark is Chocolate Town. And the first thing you see when you enter Chocolate Town is the brand new coaster Candymonium. Right in the center of the helix is a Hershey Kiss shaped fountain. That's also the tallest coaster at Hersheypark, just beating Sky Rush by a few feet. This area was just added to the park a few years ago, and aside from the coaster, they also moved the carousel over here, just to the left of Candymonium. You'll see the original location of the carousel later in this video. Aside from that, this area is pretty much places to eat, places to shop. It's actually kind of underwhelming for a new area, but Candymonium is a great coaster and it's definitely worth a ride. Chevrolet has been a big sponsor at Hersheypark for a while, and they have this Chevrolet Candymonium painted car over in Chocolate Town. Chocolate covered car, it's my favorite dessert. So after you leave Chocolate Town, you come down a walkway full of stores and restaurants, and you can get all-day dining deal, the fast track, and a single-day meal deal over at this building to the right, the HP Go Plus area. Basically, you put in your information, pay, and it prints out a wristband that has all your information on it. It's very simple, quick to use, and very helpful when you're at this park. At the end of the walkway is a statue of Hersheypark founder Milton S. Hershey. They have the water running today, which is nice to see. It's nice and warm today, so they have the water flowing. New for this year, next to the fountain, they added a photo spot, which I assume at some point some characters will show up. On the star on the door of the photo spot is a silhouette of a Hershey Kiss. Over here under this big tent used to be the site of the old carousel. And to the right of that, a couple of coasters. You got Sky Rush coming by in the foreground. Behind that is a classic wooden coaster, the Comet. One of the first coasters I ever got on. Both of them are misleading though, because neither of them are in this area. You have to walk around to get to them. The park's laid out kind of unusual, but you get used to it. In the distance you can see two of the three towers of the Hershey's Triple Tower that opened a few years back. The Hershey Kiss one is the third one. It's too short and it's hidden behind the trees in front of the Reese's Tower. Beyond that you can see a little bit of Storm Runner, which may or may not be running today. It was down for a long time because of an incident, but I heard that it was back up. I guess we'll find out later today. One of the newer rides here at Hersheypark, Reese's Cup Fusion, opened a few years back. It's a dark ride that you shoot at the evil gumdrops, the enemy on the right. The hero is the Reese's Cup on the left. And there you see Jen modeling the statues that they have out in front. Hersheypark has a sky view, allows you to go across and get a good view of the Great Bear Coaster, which you can see in the distance. It's a one-way trip. It's a two-way trip, I should say. It'll take you down, turn you around, come right back to the same station that you started in. Right now you can see it's not running, but when it is running, we might get a view from above. All the cars are themed to the various Hershey candies, as you can see. Something else that Hersheypark has that not a lot of other parks have is a monorail. The monorail will take you across parts of the park. You'll also go a little ways over part of the Zoo America that they have here. and to go over some of downtown Hershey as well. It used to legitimately be used as a form of transportation that took people to a couple of other buildings. There were about 2 or 3 stops on the monorail track, but right now it's just a single circle that takes you right back where you started. Just a quick look at the map if you're interested in seeing the layout of Hersheypark from above and everything that they have to offer. Let's take a ride on the train courtesy of the Dry Gulch Railroad Station.
They're all up there.
The full rotation around the track takes about 5 minutes or so, but here's a 30-second clip looking at some of the sights you can see on the train, including a few of the roller coasters at Hersheypark. You go directly under both Trailblazer and Stormrunner. Near the Play Dome Arcade, there's a building. It used to be an eatery. It's technically still an eatery, but they've put in some Pepsi fast fill machines over here where you can refill your cup on your own. The Fahrenheit catering area now has a big sign above its signboard, and an even bigger sign denoting it over top of the actual eating area. And why is this area called Fahrenheit Catering? Because the Fahrenheit coaster is right here. One of my personal favorite Intamins. If it didn't have such a capacity problem, it probably would be my favorite Intamin. But there's also the Velocicoaster, so it's going to be hard to top that. If you've never been before, you probably can't tell the difference, but it looks like Fahrenheit has also got a new paint job. The orange is extremely bright, and the blue really stands out, even against this bright blue sky today. Here's another angle of the track. From here you can really see the pop of color as the train goes by. Since we're here before Memorial Day, the boardwalk, the water park at Hersheypark, is not yet open, so we won't be covering that in any kind of detail, but you can see a couple of the rides. You can see the Shoot the Chutes over there, and in the distance, if I can zoom in a little bit, you can see a little bit of the water coaster that opened up a couple years ago. They also added a new fast fill station across from the Shoot the Chutes ride, Tidal Force. We're about to enter Midway America, or as I like to call it, Coaster Central here at Hersheypark. Even though they say they have 15 coasters, I say they have 14 coasters because the water coaster isn't a coaster. Of those 14 coasters, 4 of them are here. Here's a look at the map of the area. You can see 2 big wooden coasters. We'll be looking at those in a minute. The first coaster that you come to this way is the Wildcat. It's a fairly old coaster. It's GCI's first coaster. And it's seen better days, but it's still a fun and intense coaster, especially if you like wooden coasters. Directly across from the Wildcat is a Wild Mouse. It's a pretty standard mouse coaster, so it's not really worth talking about much, but people have said that this is considered to be one of the most thrilling mouse coasters on the East Coast because of the view that you get. I don't really personally see much difference myself, but it's still an interesting ride. It's just a mouse coaster. Afterwards, we come to Laugh Track. Laugh Track's a few years old now, but it's still a good coaster. It's an all-indoor spinning coaster, so I can't actually get any video footage of it because I don't have a GoPro, but I can show you the exterior of the building and the sign. It's themed to a fun house, so you go inside, it's all dark and there's a bunch of bright colors, a lot of laughter. Up here there were decals on the windows. They took them down recently because they started to get out of shape. So hopefully they'll be replacing them at some time in the future because the building looks very plain now. Over to my right, you can see the boardwalk in the distance. When the boardwalk's closed like it is today, this area midway kind of dead ends down here, but at the dead end is probably the highlight of this area, the Lightning Racer. Lightning Racers are, as the name implies, is a racing coaster. Two sides, Lightning and Thunder. Thunder, the green side here. Lightning on the far side is a red train. You can see them going up the hill here. You can get some great views of the track from the boardwalk, but again, because it's closed, the best we can do right now is the lift hill. Here they go. Place your bets. And here's a better view of both of the trains going up the hills and down the first drop. Over to the right of the Lightning Racer is Hersheypark's Ferris wheel. As you can see in the center of the wheel is a symbol. It's 8 different colors in a wheel shape. That's become Hersheypark's symbol. So this is what we were actually here for. You saw a little bit of it when we were riding by on the train, but this is the new attractions plural for 2022. First is the giant green coaster. Although this technically isn't a new ride, it's rethemed from what used to be known as the Sidewinder. Had a brown track, they repainted it green, changed the name to Jolly Rancher Remix. The remix comes from the fact that they're supposed to be having multiple different experiences on here. There's supposed to be different music and different smells that you smell while on it. The various scents and ride experiences that you get on this ride are supposed to be randomized, so we'll see how that works when it finally opens. In front of the coaster is a brand new family flat ride that they're calling Mixed, flavored by Jolly Rancher. This ride is a Zamperla ride known as a Nebuloz with a Z. So if you want to see what exactly it does when one is actually running, I'm sure you can find other videos of it on YouTube. So take a look, and if it seems interesting, head over here to Hersheypark to give it a shot when it opens. In front of the new rides, Hershey's put a bunch of signs advertising them to let people know what's coming. So let's walk along and take a look at what they are. Directly across from the new Jolly Rancher Remix coaster is Storm Runner, an Intamin launch coaster. Let's watch Storm Runner launch up the top hat.
Where are we going? No, look, watch this up.
The new Jolly Rancher Remix sign out in front of the coaster. And over this way, they put up new signs for both Storm Runner and Jolly Rancher Remix. Past Storm Runner and down a very steep hill is Trailblazer, a family coaster which was actually one of the only roller coasters that I would ride as a kid before I got over my fear of coasters. So it's also one of the ones I've ridden the most of my life. I've still kind of enjoyed, even though I've been more accustomed to more thrilling coasters later in life. Unfortunately, it's down today, but that's what the track looks like, and that's what the sign looks like. Leaving the area known as Pioneer Frontier, we passed by an aqua theater, which we've never actually taken the time to sit in to watch a show. But then from there, you go up another hill that's very steep, and you come into an area known as Kissing Tower Hill, which was actually two separate areas that were recently combined into one single area. It's easy to see why they named this Kissing Tower Hill after that climb. At the top of the hill to the right, you're treated to a nice view of the Triple Towers. Right now it seems like only the Reese's Tower is working. But behind the Triple Towers as a new paint job and a new name for a restaurant, or well, at least a drink stop. They used to be called Bubbles, BBLZ. Now it's going to be Pepsi Pop Star. It's not currently open, and neither is the Overlook back behind there, a nice food court that we like to stop to eat at. But it should be opening later this summer. Correction, the Overlook food court actually is open. It's just the one side has a closed door, so I wasn't sure before, but it's open. They're making food and it smells great. The Hersheypark pinwheel that's on their famous Ferris wheel is also all over the park, including all of their logos. Here you can see an example of one on the gates for the closed Pop Star drink area. And also on their balloon flight flat ride. Opposite the Triple Towers is an actual zoo known as Zoo America. Zoo America is actually included in the cost of a ticket to Hersheypark. So it's nice to try to stop in once in a while. Every now and then we'll stop in ourselves. It's got a great archway. And despite the fact that it's included in the cost of an admission ticket, it's not a tiny little zoo either. It's a full-size zoo full of tons of animals. That's definitely worth the walk through. At the highest point in the park are the classic and the race cars that you can drive around a short track. And more importantly, the Kissing Tower that Kissing Tower Hill is named after. Going way up. Kissing Tower was closed for a while. It just reopened recently. It's good to see it running again because it's a monument to this park. And over in the distance there's a log flume ride known as the Coal Cracker. And beyond that, an inverted coaster from B&M, the Great Bear. We'll get a better angle of that in a minute. Here's a quick view of the Great Bear station and the ride sign. Here's a pretty good view of the Great Bear about to go down the drop and around the track. Down it goes. As we cross the bridge and enter the hollow, we're greeted first with the Super Duper Looper, one of Hersheypark's more classic coasters. It's also the first looping coaster on the East Coast, famous for its I Survived the Super Duper Looper t-shirts that they still make to this day. Here's a great look at the Super Duper Looper's loop, try saying that 3 times fast, as well as a train about to go through. Next you come to a coaster that's kind of hard to miss in this park. It used to be the tallest coaster in the park prior to Pandemonium, Sky Rush, colloquially known as Thigh Crush due to the restraint system that they have. Here's a good look at the sign, as well as the crowd that's in line for the ride, which gives you an idea of what kind of day we're having here with crowd level. I do like that the station has a clock on it. Finally, a look at the Philadelphia Toboggan Company Classic, the Comet, and the distance behind Sky Rush, because Sky Rush takes up most of the skyline here. Back in Chocolate Town, as you're about to exit the park, you have to go through the Hersheypark Supply Company, so they did a good job there knowing how to market to people, making you exit through a gift shop. But attached to the gift shop is a restaurant that just opened last year, the Chocolatier. We're planning on trying that in the near future. If you're interested in seeing us review the Chocolatier, leave a comment below and we'll go in and shoot a video if there's enough interest. Inside the Hersheypark Supply Company, it's primarily a gift shop, so it's not really worth looking too in depth at everything in here, but one thing of note is this Ferris wheel that they have above the doors. There's the doors and there's the Ferris wheel for size reference. So there you have it for our brief visit to Hersheypark. This was by no means a comprehensive look, so if you saw something you liked, please come visit the park. It's great. You'll enjoy yourself, especially if you're a fan of coasters, but they're 14, I'm again emphasizing 14, not 15 like they like to claim, coasters. But also, if you do visit, keep in mind that the park is very hilly, so be prepared to be climbing up and down a lot of hills. If you've ever visited Hersheypark previously, leave us a comment, let us know what your experiences were like. I'm interested to know what kind of time you have had here in the past. And thank you for watching. Hey, I enjoyed making this video so much that I wanted to give you some more free content at the end here. I forgot to mention earlier that connected to, well, not directly connected, but right next to Hersheypark is Hershey's Chocolate World. It's essentially a giant store and place to eat, and it also has a free ride that educates you about how the chocolate process is at Hershey's. And we'll be doing a video on this sometime in the future, so I wanted you to be aware of that. And I also wanted you to be aware that down in the corner right now is our Instagram link, so if you wouldn't mind going to Instagram and taking a look at some other photos that we took on this trip, and also trips in the past and future trips, we'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.